Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, very good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, salamun alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Okay. So, which lesson are we learning?
Lesson number 12.
Name of lesson number 12.
The adventure of the blue carbuncle.
The
Okay. What
adventure
is the
of
meaning of
Carbuncle.
adventure? What is the
Sir,
adventure?
please
What is
raise
the
the
meaning
floor.
of adventure? What is the meaning of adventure?
Do something new.
New.
Okay, means very interesting. Okay.
Yes.
And meaning of carbuncle.
A
Diamond.
type of diamond.
Very good. A type of diamond. Very good. So in last lecture we learnt that when Dr. Watson entered into Sherlock Holmes' room, he saw two things. Which two things? Which two things?
The diamond, carbuncle,
No, no. Dr. Watson,
box,
which box?
Carbuncle box.
No.
the box which has the necklace.
In the beginning of the lesson, it is there. When Dr. Watson entered Sherlock Holmes' room, he saw two things. Which two things?
Sir, we don't know. Please.
Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson saw two things. Which two things? One was
Red.
shabby hat, dirty hat, and it was
Yeah.
hanging behind the door, back of the chair.
Sir,
Yes.
sir. One hat and one goose.
No. No. Hat and magnifying glass on the chair. Magnifying glass on the chair. And when Dr. Watson saw these two things, dirty hat and magnifying glass, so Dr. Watson understood that Sherlock Holmes is solving a case. So Dr. Watson said, sorry, I don't want to disturb you, interrupt you, but Sherlock Holmes said, no, my friend, no. I am so glad. I am happy. Glad means I am happy that you are here. I want to discuss something with you. I want to discuss one case with you. Dr. Watson said, okay, no problem. What is the case? Then Sherlock Holmes pointed his finger towards the hat. Sherlock Holmes showed the hat to Dr. Watson. And then Sherlock Holmes said, this object looks very common. This object looks very simple. But this object has lots of secrets. Lots of secrets are connected with this hat. You know Peterson, the commissioner? Here, Sherlock Holmes asked question to Dr. Watson. Do you know Peterson, the commissioner? Now here commissioner means what? Last time also I explained this. Commissioner means what? Don't sit idle, please give answer. Meaning of commissioner?
Which meaning, sir?
Sorry, what?
Sir, please can you repeat the question?
Meaning of commissioner. Here you see, you know Peterson, the commissioner. What is the meaning of commissioner? Can you see the word on the screen? Can you see the word on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Then give answer.
The head of the police or a government.
Okay, here that commissioner not. Okay, here commissioner means what? A person whose job is to stand at the entrance gate of the hotel and his work is to welcome the guest. Okay, that person stands at the gate of the hotel and welcome all the guests. That is commissioner. So Peterson was commissioner. On Christmas morning, he brought it here along with a good fat goose, which is, I have no doubt, roasting at this moment in front of Peterson's fire. Sherlock Holmes said, our friend Peterson on Christmas morning, means on 25th December, Peterson brought two things. One is fat goose, means here see I have drawn here bird. Fat goose like chicken. And second one is hat. So Peterson brought two things to Sherlock Holmes. One is fat goose and second one hat, which I have no doubt roasting at this moment in front of Peterson's fire. And Sherlock Holmes said that Peterson's wife is roasting the fat goose at this moment because I have given the bird to Peterson. I told him to cook the bird and eat it in dinner. But hat I have kept with me in my custody. It was indeed getting interesting now. Sherlock Holmes started relating the morning's episode. Now Sherlock Holmes is telling the story that how Peterson got these two things. After some merrymaking, our friend Peterson was making his way homeward down Tottenham Court Road. Now Sherlock Holmes is telling story of Peterson, that how Peterson got these two things. So Christmas Day was there, and after wishing Merry Christmas, Peterson, when Peterson was going his homeward means towards his home. And he was going his home. On the way, he saw a tall man walking ahead of him. When Peterson was walking on the road, one tall man just passed from Peterson. And that tall man was slight stagger. Stagger means confused. That man was confused, looking confused, carrying a white goose slung over his shoulder. And Peterson saw that this person, means tall man, was having a fat goose slung. Slung means hanging. Hanging over his shoulder means tall man was having a fat goose over his shoulder. As he reached the corner of Goose Street, a row broke out between him and a group of thugs. Peterson saw that when the tall man reached Goose Street, corner of Goose Street, what happened? some criminals, a row broke. Row means a line broke out between him and a group of thugs. One line was there, people were going in a line. So when these men, tall men, reached Good Street, the line broke and some criminals, group of thugs, means group of criminals, came towards the tall man. Came towards the tall man. As one of them knocked off the man's hat, he swung his stick over his head to defend himself. And one criminal came and took off the tall man's hat. He swung his stick. So the tall man threw the stick at the criminal. But unfortunately, the stick hit to the window of one shop. At this point in time, Peterson rushed to the tall man's rescue. When Peterson saw that the group of criminals are beating the tall man, Peterson rushed to the tall man's rescue. Peterson runs to the tall man to save him. Rescue means to save him from the criminal. But the man, seeing an official looking person in uniform rushing towards him, took to his heels, leaving behind his hat and goose. But when the tall man saw that Peterson is coming, now Peterson was in his uniform. So when Peterson was coming, the tall man thought that Peterson is a real police commissioner. So the tall man left his two things. The tall man left two things there, hat and goose, and he ran away. The tall man ran away. Why? Because he was afraid of Peterson. The thugs who too had fled at the appearance of Peterson. And a group of criminals also run away. Fled means run away. Why? Because they saw Peterson. And they also thought that Peterson is a commissioner, real commissioner. Thus, our friend came in possession of this battered hat and the Christmas goose. And our friend Peterson took these two things, battered hat. Battered means dirty or damaged, not in good condition. And the Christmas goose means that bird, chicken, like chicken bird. Peterson took these two things. Now here Dr. Watson asked question to Sherlock Holmes. Did he not return them to the owner? Means why did he not return to the real owner? Sherlock Holmes said, my dear fellow, my dear friend, there lies the problem. There is a problem. Sherlock Holmes says, there is a problem. Dr. Watson asked, what is the problem? So Sherlock Holmes said, although the small card tied to the bird's left leg says it is for Mrs. Henry Baker. Sherlock Holmes said, we found one card, and that card was tied to the bird's left leg. Means one card was there, and in the card written for Mrs. Henry Baker. Only these words written for Mrs. Henry Baker. And hat identifies its owner by the initials HB. And on the hat only two letters written, HB. But there are thousands of bakers and hundreds of Henry Bakers in the city of ours. It is not easy to restore lost property to any one of them. And then Sherlock Holmes
Sir.
said it is very, yes,
HB full form is Henry Baker or
yes,
another?
Henry Baker.
Okay.
So Sherlock Holmes said, it is very difficult, my friend, because thousands of bakers and hundreds of Henry Baker. How can we find the right honor? And it is very difficult to restore lost property. Restore means to return lost property, means these two things, hat and goose, to any one of them, means to the right person. Then Dr. Watson asked, what then did Peterson do? So Sherlock Holmes answered, Peterson brought them here instead. Sherlock Holmes said, Peterson brought these two things to me. I retained the hat of the unknown gentleman out of curiosity while returning the goose for his family dinner. And then Sherlock Holmes said, I kept the hat in my custody, and goose bird I returned to Peterson. I told him to eat this goose in dinner. Then what clue could you have as to his identity? Then Dr. Watson asked, now what clue? Clue means what hint could you have as to his identity? Means how can you find the right honor by this hat? How? Only as much as we can deduce from the hat. Sherlock Holmes answered, we have to find out the right honor through this hat. And through this hat, use our logical power, reasoning, mind power, and we will find this, we will find the real honor of the hat. Deduce means arrive at by reasoning, means logical power, mind. I was sure Holmes was joking. Sherlock Holmes, here when Sherlock Holmes said that we have to find out the person through hat, Dr. Watson thought that Sherlock Holmes is joking. Joking means a funny thing. Why? Because how can we find the right honor through this hat? Only one thing. He asked me if I could gather any information on the man who wore that hat. Sherlock Holmes told Dr. Watson, take this hat and make some points on this hat and the honor of this hat and goose. Make some points. Dr. Watson first said it is very difficult. Then also Dr. Watson takes the tattered object. Tattered means the damaged object. Dr. Watson takes the object, tattered means dirty hat, in his hands for inspection, for observation. I could find nothing extraordinary about it to notify the owner, except it had faded lining of red silk and was cracked. Dr. Watson said, I cannot say anything about the right honor, but some points are there on this hat. So, first point, Dr. Watson said, there are some lines of red silk. Faded means not seeing properly. Faded lines of red silk and was cracked. Cracked means not in good condition, damaged condition. Linings of red silk but cracked. Dusty means dirty, dust particles there on the hat, and spotted in several places. Spotted means some dark spots, dark color, which the owner had tried to patch up by smearing them with ink. Which the right owner had tried to patch up. Patch up means repair the hat by smearing them with ink, with color. The owner could be one of the hundreds of Henry Bakers who lived in London. And then Dr. Watson said, the owner of this hat is one of the Henry Baker out of hundreds of Henry Baker, and that person lives in London. Only these points,
Sir,
yes,
how to know that person lives in London?
because Henry Bakers all mostly were living in London. That's why.
Oh,
And then Dr. Watson said, I can see nothing. And then Dr. Watson returned the hat to Sherlock Holmes. On the contrary, Watson, you can see everything, but you fail to reason from what you see. Sherlock Holmes said, oh, my friend, you are so weak in observation. You have seen whole hat, but you fail to observe. Then pray tell me what it is that you can infer from this hat. Then Dr. Watson requested Sherlock Holmes, please tell me your observation on this hat. My friend started listing his deductions. Now Sherlock Holmes, one by one, he is telling the points on the hat and the right honor of hat and goose. First point, Sherlock Holmes said, the man is an intellectual as his head must be large, judging by the size of the hat. First point, Sherlock Holmes said, the size of the hat is large. It means the person's head is also large. And large head means that person is intelligent person. In the olden days, people were believing that a person who has large head, that person is very intelligent person. So on the base of that, Sherlock Holmes said, this person is so intelligent because his head is large. And why head is and size of the head is large, it means his head is large. Second point, Sherlock Holmes said, he must have been wealthy and would have fallen upon difficult time of late as the hat is an expensive one and is stated now as the owner is unable to afford to buy a new one. Second point, Sherlock Holmes said, this person once upon a time was very wealthy. Wealthy means very rich. Why? Because the hat was so expensive. The hat looks so expensive, and that's why the person was wealthy, rich person once upon a time. And at present, the condition of hat is very bad. It means the person's condition is also very bad. Once upon a time, he was wealthy, but now he is so poor because he has repaired this hat many times. The condition of hat is so poor, damaged, so that's why the person is unable to afford to buy a new one. The person is not capable to buy a new hat because the person is poor at present. Third point, Sherlock Holmes said he has tried to patch it up. Patch it means repair. The person has tried to repair this hat many times. It means the person is a man of self respect. The person is having self-respect. Very respectable person. Cannot raise his hands in front of others. That person is called self-respect person. Fourth point, Sherlock Holmes said the hat has collected brown dust on it, which shows it had been hung up indoors most of the time. Sherlock Holmes said brown dust. The hat is having brown dust. It means the hat is most of the time hanging behind the door, hanging back of the door. That's why the color is little bit down. Then fifth one, Sherlock Holmes said he is a man who leads a sedentary life and goes out little. Sedentary life means inactive life. Sherlock Holmes said the person means right honor of the hat, that person is now very inactive because now he is so poor and inactive life, and that's why that person goes out little, means that person goes out little to the market or coming outside of the house. Most of the time he is residing in his room, only sometimes coming out. And then last point on the hat and the honor of the hat. This hat with a week's accumulation of dust upon it. Accumulation means collection. The hat has 1 week dust, means 7 days dust. It shows that his wife has ceased to love him. And this is the proof that his hat is so dirty, it means his wife is not loving him. Cease means stop to love him. His wife stopped to love the person and not doing anything like washing, cleaning the hat. That's why the hat has dust. And his wife does not bother him. Bother means disturb him going out in such a state. And his wife also did not or does not disturb him to go out and earn money. At the precise moment Peterson rushed into the room, dazed with astonishment, and just at the moment when just Sherlock Holmes completed the list of things, list of points on hat and the honor of the hat, just when he completed, Peterson, the commissioner, rushed into the room. Rush means speedily entered into the room. Dazed with astonishment. Dazed means in shock. Peterson was shocked with astonishment, means surprised. See here, sir. See what my wife found inside the goose. Peterson said, see, Sherlock Holmes, see, my wife found something inside the goose, inside the bird. He held out his hand and displayed upon the center of the palm a brilliantly scintillating blue stone, rather smaller than a bean in size. Then Peterson hold that stone and put upon the center of the palm. Center means center, middle part of the palm hand, and it was brilliantly scintillating, means very shining blue stone, but it was very small, rather than a bean. Bean means pulses, bean, very small in size. Here you see in the picture that this person is Peterson, commissioner, and here you see blue stone. Can you see properly? Can you see the stone properly?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
And
yes.
Yes.
It
and
is
who is Sherlock
scintillating
Holmes?
blue carbuncle. Okay. Sherlock
Sir,
Holmes
who
sat
is
up
Sherlock
with,
Holmes, the black one?
yes,
Who is Sherlock Holmes?
here see Sherlock Holmes having this cigarette in his hand. Okay.
Yes,
This
yes.
and here this person
The black
is
one?
Dr. Watson. This person is Dr. Watson. Okay.
Yes.
Sherlock Holmes sat up with a whistle. This is treasure trove indeed. I suppose you know what you have got. Sherlock Holmes said, it is treasure. Treasure means very valuable thing you have got. You know what you have got? Peterson said, diamond, sir. Precious stone. Diamond. It's more than a precious stone. It is the precious stone. It is so valuable stone. Not only precious, but more than precious stone. Not the Countess of Morcar's blue carbuncle, I said. Means Sherlock Holmes said, I think it is blue carbuncle of Countess of Morcar. Morcar means here name of person. At that time, Morcar was the leader, like having a good post, high post, king, like king. And countess means his wife. So countess of Morcar means his wife. Morcar's wife, blue carbuncle. I said, Sherlock Holmes said it is blue carbuncle of Countess Morcar's wife. Precisely so, I have read the advertisement about it in the Times every day lately. And Sherlock blue carbuncle of Countess. Precisely, exactly. Because I advertisement in the newspaper. Which newspaper? The Times, name of newspaper. Sherlock Holmes said, I have read this in advertisement in newspaper. And the reward for it is 1,000 pounds. And in the advertisement written that if a person returns this blue carbuncle to Morcar, then he or she will get 1,000 pounds. It was reported to have been lost just 5 days ago on 22nd December from Hotel Cosmopolitan. And then Sherlock Holmes said that in newspaper also written that the blue carbuncle lost on 22nd December. Somebody had stolen blue carbuncle from Hotel Cosmopolitan. John Horner, a plumber, was accused of having abstracted it from the lady's jewel case. And police arrested John Horner. John Horner, he was a plumber. Plumber means a person whose work is to join pipeline, work on pipeline. That
Sir,
person
I
is
have
called
one.
plumber. Fitting tap, fixing tap, then pipelines. So police arrested John Horner, and people are saying that John Horner is the thief. But John Horner does not have blue carbuncle and having
Sir,
abstracted. Yes,
I have one doubt that why Sherlock Holmes write this in newspaper.
Sherlock Holmes has not written this.
Then,
Sherlock Holmes read this in newspaper. He read.
ha, read,
Okay.
but why?
Who has given advertisement? First, you think. Who has given advertisement? Whose carbuncle was there?
Sir, your voice is not clear.
Whose
Anita,
carbuncle was there?
Anita.
What
Anita.
Anita? Here, Anita's story is not there in this. Anita's story, very short story, over. Sherlock Holmes' story is different. It was warm-up story, warm-up, not related to this story. Blue carbuncle belonged to Morcar's wife. Yes, and a countess. Countess means wife of Morcar.
Wife of
And what are
Morka.
you listening? Okay.
But sir, yes, आपने जो बीच में बोला उसमें आपका वॉइस नहीं आ रहा था.
Okay. Okay, wife of Morcar. So when Morcar knew that my wife, Blue Carbuncle, somebody has stolen, so Morcar has given the advertisement in the newspaper that if any person found this Blue Carbuncle and return, he or she will get 1,000 pounds. It was reported to have been lost just 5 days ago. Means on 22nd December, somebody had stolen Blue Carbuncle from Hotel Cosmopolitan. And people are saying that John Horner is the thief. He has stolen the Blue Carbuncle. Okay, now next part of the story in the next lecture. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Bye, sir.
Okay, Khuda Hafiz.
खुदा हाफिज.
Sir, can we left?
Yes, you can.